Hello, hello! This week's project is the Mardi Gras wreath. It is super easy to make with Dollar Tree supplies. If you saw my Dollar Tree haul yesterday, I showed you that I got the masks, I got the feather boas, I got everything that I needed to make the wreath, and here it is. All we're going to do is use the curl method on the base itself with our mesh, and then we're going to just fill it in with the feathers and the face masks and different things like that. It's super easy. The feathers we're just going to cut and we're going to put in between all of our mesh, and you're going to see how easy it is to make. So let's get started, and this is what you need. Okay, so for this project, again, we're going to use the Dollar Tree 14-inch wreath frame. Now, if you can't find them at Dollar Tree, they are out of stock online as well. You might be able to find them at your other craft stores like Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Joann Fabric. Maybe you have a local craft store that you can check. But if you're going to use these, make sure, I always say, to go a little bit bigger. So if you find a 16, that's better, because the tighter it is, the more clumped together it is, especially when you're adding things like the Mardi Gras items, okay? So again, we're going to use the 14-inch. You do need at least 5 to 6 of the mesh if you're going to use the Dollar Tree one. Now, if you can find the bigger rolls, you could probably get away with 3. So if you can get a white, a purple, and a green, that would be awesome. Or if you can even find a yellow, that would be great, okay? Then you're going to pick out all of your little items like the headbands if you want, because we're going to take these and we're going to stick it in the wreath and we're going to dress up the wreath. You can get the little crown from Dollar Tree. You can get the feather boas, and of course I got them in several colors because we're going to cut these down and we're going to add them inside the wreath. We have a few of the fun face masks, so we're going to add these. We're going to see if we have enough room, and if we can add 2 we will, and if not we'll just add 1, because we do have the cute little hats that they have as well. So we might only put 1 of the masquerades on, and then we'll put these on, and of course we will finish it off with some of the Mardi Gras beads, and we'll deck this out that way. And if you wanted to, we can cut some of these up and we can do a little decorative V on the end, and we can use some of the green, which Dollar Tree also sells. So, of course, the first thing we always need to do is we need to cut down our mesh, and we're going to just do the simple curl method. And these are the pipe cleaners I got from Hobby Lobby. I'm going to use the green ones. I always say once you tie it all together in the back, you're not even going to see it. So if you have some leftover colors, I don't worry too much about that. A lot of you guys do sell your different wreaths, but you can always take a strip of fabric and you can cover up the back, and you have no problems selling them. So let's get started on how I cut my mesh. And I always show you guys how I do that, just so that if you guys want to try my method, you can. If not, then do what's best and works for you. Okay, so we are just going to do 1 of these, and then I am going to, of course, turn off the camera like I always do, make all of my bundles, and come back as we make our wreath, and we will finish it off with our decorations. So, for this project, I am going to use, since I have 5, I'm going to use 5 to get started and see if I have enough room on the wreath, because we're going to be putting stuff in between our mesh, not like we use a regular full mesh, and we'll be able to fill that in with the ribbon and the boa. So if you only have 5, that's okay too. So let me lower the camera just enough so you guys can see what I'm doing. And I use the wheel now. I really, really like the wheel. And what I'm going to do is, that's for my hot glue. I don't use that. Now, I always show you guys, I cut on my table every 6 inches. So here's 6, here's 6, and here's 6, and here's 6. The 6 inches is what you need for each strip of mesh that we're using, because these are already 6 inches this way, and we just want them to be 6 inches this way. And I just do that because it's convenient rather than keep using a tape measure. The other thing I do to save time is I stack them on top of each other, because if you cut them 1 at a time, it's going to take forever. So I'm going to do that. And what I'm going to do with my bundles is I'm going to do a few that are purple, green, and white. And then I'm going to do some that are just all green, some that are all white, and then some that are green and white, because I only have 1 roll of purple to work with. So I want to kind of like use that sporadically so that I have enough. Okay? So I'm going to use this marker right here, and I'm just going to cut this down my 6 inches. Now this wheel is really, really sharp, so if you start to work with it, just be really, really careful. So we're just going to do a few of these, just so I can show you how I do mine. 2. And a lot of people say that they have problems with fraying. If you're having problems with fraying, then that means that your wheel or your blade or whatever you're doing is not sharp enough. So see how mine's not really fraying? It's because you need to sharpen whatever it is you're using to cut your mesh. That's one of the biggest problems, and everybody just can't seem to understand that that's really basically all you need to do is get a sharper pair of scissors. So then what we're going to do is we are going to cut our pipe cleaners into thirds. Now, the only reason I tell people to cut it in half is if they're using, you know, if they have problems with their fingers where they can't twine, if it's a smaller, but you're wasting a lot of material if you do them longer. So if you cut these in half, this is way too much. You don't need that many. So you just cut them into thirds. Okay? I do like the pipe cleaners from Hobby Lobby better than I do Dollar Tree, only because they have a little bit more thickness to them. And then all we're doing is, of course, it's curled up right, and all we're doing is we are curling it smaller to start making our bundles. And I always do bundles of 3. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we are going to make, I'm going to say about 10 of the bundles like this, and then what's ever left over, I'm going to do in solid colors. Okay, so we have 3 there. I'm going to do these 4, and then I'm going to come back when I have all my bundles ready, and then we're going to start making the wreath. Okay, so this is how I do mine. So again, 1, 2, and what's nice about the curl method is the fact that you can add so many different things to it to change the look of it. So even if you're using the curl method, this method is nice because you get the opportunity to change things around. So there's the 3rd one. And this is all you need to twine it onto that wreath. You don't need any more than this little bit. Okay, 2. And let's do one more. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we're going to do, I'm going to do about 10 of these so that I can put them throughout my wreath. So I can use them sporadically. And the other ones I'm going to do all solid colors. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I'm going to turn off the camera. I'm going to make all my bundles so that we have them all ready to go. And when you guys start to make yours, just remember, instead of doing a white, purple, and green in bundles of 3, you're going to do 3 green, 3 purple, 3 white, and we're going to sporadically spread them out throughout our wreath. But you do need at least a good 5 rolls of the mesh if you're going to use the Dollar Tree mesh, okay? So we will be back in a few minutes to get started on our wreath. Okay, so we are back, and we're going to get started putting our 3 curl bunches onto our frame. So as you can see, I have some that have 3, and the rest of them are all individual colors. So there's 3 on here, 3 purple, 3 green. And all we're going to start doing is, I'm not going to use this outside one here because it's too full then. So I only use the 3. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate them. I'm going to go white. Let's see here. No, I think I'm going to put white in the center. I want one of the solid colors to be on the outside. So I want to do purple. And then I'm going to do, and it's just going to start coming together as we add them on there. So what I'm going to do here first is I'm going to add one of our 3 bunches to just get it started, because it will be nice and colorful then. So let's put this on this one right here. This one right here that separates the frame. And we're going to do it right in the middle. So now some people religiously want to work the way I'm working, and you don't have to do it that way. If you want to use the outside frame and you want it super, super puffy, just remember you're going to need more mesh. So you're going to pay a lot more, and you don't really need to do that to just make a nice full wreath. So what we did was we put the 3 on. Then we added a purple, and of course it all starts to tighten up. Now some people say, oh my God, it's too full. Leave it a little bit loose because we're going to be adding things in between. We're going to be tying things on, so you need a little bit of room to get in between this mesh, okay? So now that we have that on there, I think I'm going to use a white one, and I'm going to go on the outside one, which is the outside meaning here, inside this ring here, okay? And then we're going to come back up and we're going to do a green. And like I said, you can do it however you want to do it. If you can find some yellow mesh, that would be really pretty. Don't recall if I've ever seen yellow. I've seen gold. And gold would even be pretty in here, like a Hobby Lobby sells gold, and I actually have some gold too. So now, because I have purple, green, white here, I'm going to come back down and I'm going to add another purple so that it's opposite. And I only have 10 of the mixed bunches because, again, remember, I don't have enough of the purple. The purple was actually, I got it at Dollar Tree during Halloween. So I don't have a lot of the purple unless I go and buy more, and I really don't want to do that. So I'm just going to work, and I'm going to do a little bit more of the green and the white because I have that. So we got purple, we got that, and we're going to add another white one. And you can see it's already getting kind of full. So we're only using the 3. We're using this one, which is the inside, the middle one, and this one. And you can see that the frame is already getting kind of full, so you don't need this last ring done because it's covering it just nicely. Okay, so since we have more green, we are going to add another green one here. Okay, and what we'll do is when we start adding our feather boa, what we'll do is we'll add it where we have a little bit more green and stuff, so we can add some of the purple feather boa right there. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add another bunch of this one here so that we can get all 3 in there again, okay? So you got to just kind of figure out where you want to go with it. And remember, you can always go back, you can always change things if you don't like them. The thing that's going to help us is that we have quite a bit of stuff that we can add in here. We're adding beads, we're adding the mask that's going to be covering up things, we're adding the feather boa. So there's a lot of things that we can do to spruce this up to make it look like it's fuller or whatever we need to do. So now we're going to add white in here because we're looking like we need some white. And the other thing I want to point out is look how you can't see our pipe cleaners. Okay, so a lot of people are sticklers on using the same color pipe cleaner all the way. You can't really see it, and it doesn't really matter. And on the back side, it's like that. You can take some strips of even ribbon to cover it all up if you want, if you sell them. And everything is going to work out just fine. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add, let's see here. I think I'm going to put a purple one here. So you just kind of got to sporadically put your mesh on, and I'm going to do like I always do. I'm going to turn off the camera and come back when I'm completely done, and then we're going to start decorating. We're going to put our feather boa on. We're going to add our beads. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually cut our beads and things like that because I want them to kind of hang. Actually, this is a 2-pack. So what I want to do is I'm going to cut it, and I'm actually going to use a pipe cleaner, and I'm actually going to have them dangling off of my wreath. So, but again, you can do whatever you want. So I want this to be kind of dangling on here, like a little necklace. So there's just different things that we're going to do, and I'll show you how to do that when I come back. So we're going to finish this up, and we will be right back. Okay, so we have the base of our wreath done, and as you can see, we're a little sparing on the purple, but that's okay because we're going to start filling everything in now with our little embellishments that we bought from Dollar Tree. So first things first, I want to add some of the things that I want to work around, and like this crown is one of them. And what I do is I usually leave everything intact just the way it is, and I'm going to just fit it in through the mesh. Okay, so just go and fit it in between and make sure that it hugs one of the rims in there. Okay, so there we have our crown in there. Okay, so the crown is in there. So I kind of like things on a slant. That's just me. And what we're going to do now is we are going to start filling in with some of the feathers. So we want to get the feathers in there, I think, before we start adding the hat and the beads and the last of the things, because we won't be able to get to the actual rim that we need to get it on. So what we're going to do is we're going to take... I'm going to use this one first. So we'll see how much we're going to use. And you need to cut these ties off, because what my plan is I want to kind of include like 3 in each one. So we're going to cut it where the 3 are joined. Okay, so I got to take this off. Okay, so it's yellow, green, purple, yellow, green, purple, yellow, green, purple. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it just like this, and I'm going to add a pipe cleaner to it. Okay, and then we're going to put this in there just like we have the mesh. Okay, so if you guys want to do it differently, you most certainly can. You can cut them a little bit smaller. But let's see if this is too long, but we can work with it if it is, and we can cut it smaller. I just thought it might be cute to have, you know, the colors in there, and then you can kind of intertwine them into the mesh itself. Okay, so then you still have some of the mesh sticking out, and you want to tuck in that little tail we cut. Okay, so that's going to kind of fill it out too, and I like it being the way I have it with the 3, but if you want to cut them smaller, and the only thing is you got to consider the smaller that you cut them, the harder it's going to be to tie it on. Okay, so you can squeeze this in between the mesh, and that's going to fill it out a little bit, okay? So we'll see how many of those we need, and we want to make sure when we're doing it, like we have another purple one here, we want to make sure that we kind of intertwine where the yellow's down here, so this time we'll put the yellow here. Okay, so again, we'll add our pipe cleaner, twist it on there, and we should have enough to do... Oh, we only have 3 of these, so we have to be careful that we get them even. So maybe because the yellow's sparing me in there, we'll put another yellow one. Let's see. Oh, there we go. We could put 1 at the top, and then we'll put 1 down here, so that we just have enough of the yellow everywhere. Okay? Because that yellow, I only bought 1 with, that has the tricolors. The rest are the other colors. So this one we will kind of blend in again, and then we'll come down and we'll blend it through the crown. Okay, so there you have another yellow, and then what we're going to do is we're going to start adding the other embellishments, which we kind of have quite a few. Like we have our mask, so like where we have something that looks kind of boring, we're going to add a mask and the feather that can go inside. So we're going to figure out how we want to do this to make it pop a little bit more. Here we also have these that we can use. Those are actually kind of cute right there. I kind of like those right there. So let me put this last yellow in, and we have yellow down here. So we want to make sure that the yellow is up here this time, and we're making it even. Okay, so just make sure when you put things in that you're kind of eyeballing it as you're doing it. Okay, and you don't have to have... Let's see, let's put this in here. And you don't have to have, you know, if you want to do 2, 3 hats in there, the small hats that we bought, you can do that. And those little hats, remember Easter's coming too, so we can do some projects for Easter bunnies with those cute little hats. So buy them in purple and things, because we can do them in more than 1 color. So again, we're feeding it through the mesh so that the feathers are going through all of our different colors. Okay, and we're cutting off this tail. The tail is the white part to the boa. Okay, and we're just going to tuck that in. Okay, so we got the feathers in there, and we have more feathers to work with that we can add in there, okay? So now, let's see what we have. We have our 2 feather boas to work with. We have this smaller mask, so let's see if we like this smaller mask and which color mask we want to use. Okay, and this has a tie on it, so we can tie it. So let's see. Oh, that's kind of cute right there. I kind of like that. So you just kind of got to play with what you have. We can put a mask there, and look at it, it's just sticking by itself because the mesh it just does that. And then here we have another, look at how fun these are. I think I need one of these. How fun are these? Like, I feel so mysterious. Okay, and we can add, so here we have one mask, and we could add another mask on this side because what is Mardi Gras? Mardi Gras is all the different masks and things. So we could add a mask there. I really like the masks a lot. So let's see. You know, you kind of got to, when you're doing wreaths, you kind of got to figure out. So I'm going to take our little headband here. I'm not even going to cut it down or break it. I'm also going to do it the way we always do it. We're just going to put it in the loop. And like I said, when you guys sell things, you can always cover the back side of things up. Because a lot of people are concerned about that. But when I used to sell wreaths at craft shows, nobody ever even paid attention to the back. I don't know why that's become such a stickler point, but I guess because so many people are doing wreaths now back then when I was doing them. So we have our little thing there, and then that gives us some room to add maybe one of our little hats too. Okay, so we have our two little eyes there, and we can add the little hat down there. And if that's the case, that kind of breaks things up, so I can add the other mask like I wanted to over here. Okay, so that kind of breaks things up. But you want to make sure your masks are kind of like on a diagonal, you know, kind of just make it, you know, so it's looks a little decorative. So I kind of like that mask. I kind of like both masks. I think I'm going to, wow, this one's really stuck on there. So I think I am going to do it that way. And all you really have to do with these masks is tie them on, because it has the tie on it. So you could just take it and tie it on without having to cut anything. And then just pull your mesh through it. Okay, so just pull your mesh so that it's there. And I am just going to tie a bow right now, because I might want to change it again. So we'll see once I get where I want to be. Okay, so we have one mask on. We have that there. I'm going to add the other mask to the other side, and again, all I'm going to do is tie it on. I really like the masks a lot. Make sure you pick up a few masks when you do them, because these are really fun. You might even want to try like a purple mask. I didn't buy any purple. I got the pink and I got the red. Okay, so I'm going to tie this on. And I like the rhinestones on here too. And again, once you have your masks on, all you have to do is pull your mesh through it. You know, pull it around to make it full. Okay, so we have those few things on. And now what we can do is we can start adding more feathers, and we can add our beads on here too. Okay, so if I wanted to, I do have more hats. We can add a hat here. Okay, so I wish I would have got 3 color hats, because I could have added the hats a few places. Okay, so you just kind of got to play with your, play with things to see what you like. And then again, I wanted to make sure that I had my little faces on there, which are the faces to these. Okay, so I'm going to cut these about right there. Okay, so I have that there, and I am going to feed this through the wreath. Now I know all of you want to see what I'm doing, but I got to kind of put it in there and then I'll show you. So with your little masks, if you do it this way, you're going to have to hot glue these kind of items in there. But as far as the beads themselves go, I am going to do the same thing that I did with the feather boa, and I'm going to just cut this so that I can just hang these inside. So let's see, we have enough to do 3. 1. Okay. So we can just start feeding our beads through. See our bead right here? So you can just start feeding your beads through and leave them hang. And what I would do is just tie them to the back of one of our mesh. So we have the little ties back here. Just tie it on. You don't even have to do anything else. Just take one of the little pipe cleaners and just tie it into it, and you're done. You don't even have to add anything. You don't have to glue anything, and you're just done. So I just twined it to what was already in there, and there you have our little bead hanging down there. And then we want to put this one here. So what I'm going to do with this one is, because I have it cut like this, I'm going to take one of my pipe cleaners and I'm going to add it to this, like this. And I am going to, again, go on to one of my rims and I'm going to tie it to here. And I'll show you what it looks like in 1 minute. Okay, so we have our little face mask right there. Okay, and all I did was twine it together with the pipe cleaner. Okay, and then I have a bag of sequins, so we also can add sequins to it if I wanted. And you just kind of got to get creative. But I think the feather boas are what's really, really cute and what we can keep adding as we're going. And let's see here, my hat fell off, so we're going to have to see about that. But what I want to do is I want to add some more feathers in here. So I'm going to cut this off. Okay, and I'm just going to cut these into pieces. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to, the mesh kind of holds, like I said, it holds everything into place. So all you kind of got to do is feed it through and feel it, and then just tie it in with one of your pipe cleaners that's holding your mesh in place. Because you got a ton of them back here. There's no reason for you to have to cut another one or do anything like that if you're just adding a feather or something. You can just tie it to one that's already back on the back side, and that will hold it into place. Okay, so that makes it nice and easy. Okay, so we got that feather in there, and all you have to do is take and tuck it in to the mesh. Okay, so there, look at how full it's starting to get. The feathers are kind of taken over, and I'm going to keep using the purple, and I'm going to add the purple where our green is, and where our green is, we're going to add, you know what I mean, we're going to reverse everything. So like right here, we could use more purple because we have green right there. We're just feeling our way through the back. We're coming around to where we have our pipe cleaner. We're twining it into one that's already back there so we don't have to glue or use another one. You're not wasting material. Okay, so we're just putting our pipe cleaner back there and we're twisting it on. And that's all you have to do to make your Mardi Gras wreath. And with the feathers, what makes it nice is when you tuck it in there, it fills in where you need that pop of color. Okay? So see how the feathers are starting to take over? And we're going to add a little purple down here, and then we're going to come back and we're going to do some green. Okay, so we kind of have quite a bit of the purple left. So let's keep cutting and keep adding. And we're going to put this in here again. And we're pulling it through. See what I mean? You just pull it through the back side. It's right here. Oops. You're just pulling it through the back side. And we're just twining it on to one that's already here. Okay, so we got a pipe cleaner right here. And that's all we're doing is we're taking our pipe cleaner, we're just going to untie it a few times, and we're just going to twine it on what we already have. Okay? So this way, you're done. And it's quick and it's easy. And then what we're doing is we're just twining it into the mesh that we have done. Okay? So there's like really no rhyme or reason. You're just kind of filling in the spaces and getting things done that way. Okay? So again, if you wanted to change that out, or if you wanted to put more masks on here, however you wanted to do it, you could. And then we need to put our purple hat back on. Okay, so let's put our purple hat on here. And this has an elastic on it, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and put a knot on here, I'm going to eventually glue it, but just for this project right now, I don't have my hot glue gun near me. I'm going to tie a knot in here so that I can easily take and put it in here. And again, I'm using what I have and just wrapping it around my mesh and feeding it through the back side. Okay? Okay. So that's on there. These are on here. Okay, so we have our hat on there. We have our mesh on there. Oh, look what I just did to my feather. Just popped my feather out. So I'm going to have to use some hot glue on that to get that right. Okay, so now that I have this here, I just took my hat, and because it's got like a rubber band on it, I was able to just kind of wrap it around. I don't have to do anything else to it. So my hat is on. My two little Mardi Gras things are there from my head is there. And then let's see, what else do we have? Let me put this down a little bit. So you kind of just got to play with it. There's no rhyme or reason when you're making a wreath and you want to do different things. Let's see, we have a little bit more purple, so we can add, I have two more things of purple. Okay, so let's add these in there. Always cut off your little tab here. Okay. Again, we're going to take it, we're going to feed it through. We're going to use a pipe cleaner that's already here. We're just adding it to the back of the pipe cleaner. Okay. And that's all you need to do is kind of spruce it up, is just add feathers in there and tuck them into the mesh that's already there. A lot of people make things harder than what they really are. And then just twine it in here, because this mesh kind of like grabs everything, so you don't even have to worry. Okay? So we have it like that. So see how the feathers kind of really take over everything you need? So we'll add a little bit of green here. And it just, the more you put on, the more fun it gets. Okay, so now we can take and feed that back there. We can add these beads in here. Okay. Okay, we got a few beads there. We got a few more beads here. We'll take and we'll cut this one the way we did our other one. Okay, so we have our one right here. There's one. We're going to add another one right here. And again, all I did was take the pipe cleaner and I wrapped it around like this. Okay, and then I'm going to feed it through again to the back of my wire frame, twist it on there, twist it, twist it, twist it. And now we have the other mask on there. Okay, so we got two masks on there. And if you want to put something in the center, you can. But like I said, it's entirely up to you. And they have so many different... Oh, look, I just broke my mask. It was tied on there. So just remember that if you're going to do that. And my feather started to come off. So I'm going to have to hot glue everything on. But that's all you really need to do to make your Mardi Gras wreath, is just keep adding things. Get the base of your curl mesh down. And then just start adding everything that you want to add inside. And I don't think with Mardi Gras you can be too much or too gaudy, because that's what Mardi Gras is about, being fun and colorful. We can add some green feathers in there. I have a few things that I need to fix, like my little feather here, and just, you know, mix up your different masks. So I might get one more mask too and add it to the bottom here, and I might even change this out. I haven't really decided yet, but here is our Mardi Gras wreath, and they're fun and easy to make. So just start with your mesh base and start adding on everything that you need to do to have a fun and festive Mardi Gras Day wreath for your front door. So until I see you again, have a happy weekend. See you soon. Bye.